Welcome to this edition of Inside the Cardinal Playbook. This week, Coach, I can open up, I feel like, in a real positive way. I thought that was the best 4 quarters we've put together all year.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I mean, that's a pretty stout football team that we played last week at Truman, and well coached and disciplined, and you know you have to play well to be in it. And we were down a couple scores at half, and had a big return, and then we gave them back-to-back possession touchdowns. So they were up and did some things. Got a nice field goal from Brandon, to get it to a 14-10 deal, and then end up 2 scores down. And they were doing some things. Once they got up, they started going to some 3-man drop 8, which we'd seen a little bit in the past from them on film, so we knew we had to do some different things. But I tell you what, our guys, they don't quit. I don't even like saying the Q word because it's not going to happen with this bunch. But I was extremely happy with the way they responded to an opportunity that was a difficult place to play in homecoming, and got excited about it and had some fun. And what can you say? I'm
glad you brought it up and not quitting. I walked in with Orlando Pace, your corner, great kid. Orlando Ward, and great kid. And I walked in with him, and what a positive attitude. And he talked about no way he was going to quit, no way, the team was going to give up. And I told him I thought that was the best game they played, and I thought they played pretty good the week before, too. So what I'm saying and what I feel after talking to some of your players is that it's getting better every week. Now, there's a couple areas we do need to address. Probably the fans probably have questions about. It's our third down on defense, ability not to hold them in the red zone offense. And I don't know where you want to start with the third down conversion rate or the red zone rate, but I'll let you roll.
Both equally as, I don't want to say bad, but not where we want them. That's we got to get off the field and what we call our money down defensively, and that gives us another opportunity. And when what we found the second half is when they don't come out and score right away, right, it keeps us in the ball game. And if we're in the ball game, then things are going to be different for the other team, especially, and because we don't have to switch modes and change our game plan, and we get to continue doing what we want to do offensively if we don't give up that possession. And third down is crucial. You're going to have to play it. So, we continue to address that. And likewise with the red zone. I think we are 2 of 4 in the red zone. So it's a little bit better, but, those 2 put you in a situation win the ball game that you don't get. And, we're going to be aggressive. And, at a 4th and 4, could have kicked a field goal and, we'd have lost by 4. But we went after it and just didn't get it. And we need to continue to be that way until we learn how important it is to get it in the end zone.
So you're saying that third down conversion on the defensive side and red zone on the offensive side is more of a mental thing right now than anything else?
Well,
it's hard to put your finger on it. Yeah, I sit up here and watch the same thing, but it is a consistent thing and it's really the reason why, other than the turnover ratio, which we're not going to get into, but really are the 2 of the 3 key factors that's creating a situation where we don't have a W at the end.
Yeah, and that's it. And it's how we're responding in those areas. I think sometimes we start getting, oh no, we're in the red zone again. We have to score. And then you're totally tight. You're not loose. You can't play. And so you end up putting too much internal pressure on yourself. And likewise on third down, we got them to money down. Maybe if we stop saying money down, we'll just realize it's just another down. We go play aggressively and be where we're supposed to be and playing hard. And we redefined that in the meeting Sunday. What exactly is playing hard? And it's from the mental side, it's knowing what you're supposed to be doing, unequivocally, without a doubt, and that's game. And then from the physical side is being where you're supposed to be, and the third part of that is just that uncommon effort part of it, is be there violently. Mm-hmm. That's what you have to do. And I talked to him too as a team at halftime. Like, we're a little apprehensive at times. I'm like, what are you guys worried about? You afraid you're going to lose a game? We're going to. We have nothing to lose right now. That's not the case. You got nothing to lose. We have nothing to lose. We're going to get. It's 4th and 4. We have an opportunity to get within 7 or tie it up. Yeah, we're going to go for it. Yeah. Because a field goal doesn't do us any good. And so it's just we had that conversation too, and I think they responded.
I do too.
It was a different ball game in the second half, and
great effort.
Yeah,
it was a great effort. And
very proud of how they responded.
You bet. And let me give Truman, of course, Coach Nesbitt, I think, is a good coach, and I think the world all of him. And he was intense on the sideline throughout that ball game because he knew he was in a ball game. And I want to give you guys credit. Let's go to the positive side. The adjustments that you made, you don't have to be a coach to see that, but if you have coached, you were impressed with it. And you know, again, they dropped 8 and only rushed 3 and created some problems with us in the rush game. You guys came back and just corrected that immediately and really made it a good ball game. Your coaching staff did a good job at halftime on the adjustments.
Yeah, no doubt. That was we'd seen them get into that mode. Once they're up, okay, you want to try and throw it to get back in it. Well, there's no place to throw it when there's 8 in coverage,
right?
And and doing some different things with moving linebackers and their down linemen and stunting, trying to mess up any run game you have. But we just,
it's a good little scheme they have.
Yeah,
it really is.
I mean, when you
it's
get
good philosophy because he does a lot of things that are just basic, but they do them well.
Yeah, they're not going to take a lot of chances and give you something big, and you see that with the depth of their corners. That's why you didn't see a lot of the downfield throwing, is just because those corners are so far out of there, and they're going to force you to. They're going to see when the ball's in here and break immediately on it, so that you're not getting big yards after the catch. But with some of our counter gap stuff, we were able to take advantage of them wanting to do that with only 5 in the box and get some ground game going. Well, that it happens when you run the ball.
Well,
they got to change.
Got to change. Another real bright spot on Saturday up at Kirksville, playing Truman was a specialty team play. I thought it was excellent. We opened the game, and again, I think Mullins is one of the best in the nation. He takes it to the house, and we did a lot of good things. You talked about the long field goal. Womack did a great job there.
Yeah.
Hit all his extra points. It really was a very solid game, I thought, overall.
Yeah, no doubt. They continue to be better and better and better each week, and now all facets are getting back on track. And I don't know, somehow it's been strangely fulfilling. This process we're going. I mean, it sounds strange, but it
doesn't sound strange.
It's
sounds just like you're doing the right things.
Well, I mean, because you see it. You see from week to week to week the progress and whatnot. Because this was the toughest stretch of our schedule, and they're having to play. The other teams are, and so that's why I told them we go to Indianapolis. It's they're going to broadcast it, and I guess they can't drop it, so they still have to broadcast it. And it's not so much what they're talking about before the game, but what are they going to say after the game?
Absolutely. And you got a real shot to win that one. You got a real shot to win two to close out the season.
No doubt.
And I think the kids here at Jewell feel that way.
Yeah.
Just coming in with Ward and visiting with him, and stuff. You could sit and talk to you guys, your assistants, who I know some of them, but when you talk to the kids, you get the real deal. And I was very, very impressed and very positive. Again, offensively, real quickly, I thought it was nice to have your quarterback back, able to play 4 quarters.
Yep, did some really good things, and just excited to see what he can do with his feet, too, and keep drives going, and so it was good to have him, pretty close to being mended. But because it's a difference maker when you have some dual threat back there.
And I thought your defensive line on the defensive side, and you've been playing a lot of guys all year on defense. I think that's paying off at the end because they're experienced. If somebody does, I know you had an injury on the defensive line, but those guys have all played and quite frankly played quite a bit.
Yeah,
they're ready to play.
Yeah, and that's the we knew we had to limit 15 and 80, and that a lot of it limiting them is how quickly are we getting to number 16, the quarterback. And I thought Colin did a nice job there. And on the run game, we had to fit up power a lot, and Isaac bringing him down in the box, Dozier.
And that's one of his fortes. He can come out and fill the alley really well.
He can. He's doing a really good job of interviewing for a different position.
Yeah. So no, he does a very, very nice job of that.
Yeah.
And and again, you've played a lot of guys. When you take a guy on a trip, they better be ready to play.
Right. That's no doubt. And I have to mention, I thought our corners did a nice job on 15, he was frustrated at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And asking for, pass interference and whatnot. And it's like, well, get up in his face, and once we did that, it helps disrupt those things.
It really did, and again, a good ball game, and it very well Truman State could be the GLVC champion. So you played them as tough as anybody's played them in the conference. So, but again, there's nothing for moral victories. We keep moving on, but we have two to take care of yourself. Looking at Indy real quick before we end this thing, talk about it. What do you think about Indy?
Yeah, they're well, the record doesn't show how good they can be. They've lost some ball games this year that they wouldn't have in the past, but their quarterback and their All-American wide receiver make a big difference from them from an offensive standpoint. But they're big up front. Always going to be big up front on both sides of the ball, and we're going to have to stop the power run game. From a defensive standpoint, spot concept when they're throwing the ball, and we have some good tendencies on them there. But we've been able to move the ball on them in the past offensively, and we think we'll have a good chance to do that as well again. Just seeing what they're doing. They don't do a ton of different things. Maybe they'll rewrite the playbook, but I doubt it, because they haven't done it.
I would imagine next last game of the year, I doubt they rewrite it.
Yeah. So it should be a fun experience for our team.
Well, the hard thing, I think people realize, because I've traveled with you now, so I know how hard it is, and it's so hard for an old man to get home at 4 o'clock in the morning and 3 o'clock in the morning. But the kids will play at 6.
Yes.
And then you're coming home right after the game, right?
Yep. We'll go out there Friday morning, head out, and then come back immediately after the game. So 6, 10, 11. We'll roll in here Sunday morning.
Yeah.
8 o'clock or so.
8 or 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Talk about the ESPN coverage and stuff, because a lot of people, we won't be covering. It'll be the first time in 10 years me and Rick haven't covered a game. But why don't you talk about the ESPN deal? And that's a great exposure for the school.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Regardless of I think both teams will just show 0-0 on the record wise, and because we got to go play the football, and it's going to be a good football game that's going to be clean. It's not. We're not a bunch of turnover laden teams. Here of late, but it's tremendous exposure. Anybody can access that through ESPN3, and they see William Jewell College and University of Indianapolis, and those things you see much. Maybe they'll check it out. Which
absolutely.
I hope they do.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's hope everybody does, because it's great to get the national exposure like that. Again, for all the fans, it'll be at 6 o'clock in Indy. And Coach, good luck. Get your first win this season. That'll be good, and finish strong. And you got Lincoln following that, and that'll end it up. Well, that'll end this edition of Inside the Cardinal Playbook.